Hello everyone, I'm Coyote Jack, and this one came yesterday. Valve is fighting this back, and they are announcing it because they want to give the good impression that they are not going to allow this, but sure, like we said before, the process is gonna be the punishment for Valve, but if they manage to have a win with New York, I'm all for it. So you have this post summaries from Parad Nation. Valve has published its official response to the New York Attorney General lawsuit regarding loot boxes in Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Tier 4 2. They describe cosmetic items as equivalent to collecting trading cards with no effect on gameplay, and respectively that they constitute illegal gambling. Yeah, we rant about this already. You have gacha games that have skins but they are not tradable. It will be more enticing if you could actually trade between those because the community getting stronger in some of those gacha games and whatnot. The other thing coming out of it is that you can actually trade. Most of the AAA games we have mentioned it already don't do that. Or in fact, look at FIFA. With FIFA or FC Club nowadays called, it is not cosmetics entirely. It's pay to win because you have three soccer players that actually have better stats and they are more likable in popularity. So people will, that are into that kind of games and they are going to get addicted to the gacha that those already $70 paid games have. They are going to keep pulling for playing with their favorite character in the online. So I kind of stop ranting about that because looks like it's stupid what New York has done. But let's continue. Valve states it has already taken extensive action against unauthorized third-party gambling sites. Yeah, we discussed it with the skins black market, and it was kind of funny to a certain degree that most of the scammers of the hoarders of those skins came from China, and we heard the news that they were doing some flying lessons themselves. They uh, they were dictating themselves to do that because they lost a lot of money. But anyway, the company is opposing the AG's demands to make items non-transferable and collect additional user data, calling those requirements excessive. That's what people mention in a lot of videos on among all of this. Everyone talking about this. People commenting that it's because one thing, but they want to be publicly traded so the usual suspects can actually own them and push all of the nasty shit. Second off, Valve is too big while also being a private company compared to the others. We have seen what Microsoft did with Xbox in the UK, rolling out ID verifications and locking down people from their libraries. They want to push this. They want to. I think Valve, to a certain degree, has been resisting this fucking ID verification stupidity. But New York wants to bully them because they want to get access to the users' data. They are going to open themselves up to the government of the US, especially from these places where they don't have anything good to say. Well, considering what we have noticed of New York current government, they are going to get access to that, and they are going to find new ways to screw out the players. Just like what we have said about being being tracked by ID. They are going to see what you're into, even if it's legal. They are going to find excuses to keep fucking you up over and over again. Of course, Valve is going to get fucked. Probably the entire user base of Steam entirely could be at risk. So what they are demanding is access to the data of all of those users that the government right now, at least from New York, don't have access, and they should not. They should fucking not. They don't have any sort of business getting into to that degree into a gaming company when we can clearly see that yeah, it's all because of the ID verification. And yes, New York, we also talk, they are pushing ID verification on anything, on any sort of device. And since Valve, yeah, they're going to refuse, they're going to find ways to circumvent that. Yeah, they did this attack, and also being, of course, this coordinated attack from the Rothschilds too. They are trying to kill two birds with the same stone. So let's continue. If the Attorney General prevails, Bond wants that New York players could lose the ability to sell or trade their digital items. I think it's more than that. I perceive that Valve could take measures to can the region blocks in New York if things go south. But it could be ugly, especially since yeah, we know that yeah, they are also going to push the ID verification and dox every single player to the New York City administration. So this is the statement that they released about New York Attorney General lawsuit against Valve. Dear New York customers of Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Team Fortress 2, you may have seen the New York Attorney General recently filed a lawsuit against Valve claiming mystery boxes like crates, cases, and chests in some of our games violate New York gambling laws. But you also have casinos in New York anyway. We don't believe that they do, and we are disappointed to see the New York attorney make the claim after working to educate them about our virtual items and mystery boxes since they first reached out to us in early 2023. We rarely talk about litigation, but we felt we should explain the situation to you. So yeah, again, they're a private company. They beat it to Rothschilds, and of course, New York pushing Orwellian shit. Yeah, it kinda match. And even like people pointing some key parts here. So this one being highlighted. It may have been easier and cheaper for Valve to make a deal with the New York authority, but we believe it in the type of deal that will satisfy the NYAG would have been bad for users and other game developers, and impacted our ability to innovate or in gaming design. Well, innovate, well, there have been some developers, but I kind of agree that, yeah, it could be the cheapest way, but, it's still going to fuck us up. At least they are aware that, yeah, we are going to get fucked in the future. But that's why it's the main goal of these fucking places suing Val right now. Yeah, and it's also true that probably if it's better if they choose the costly option, primarily because if they choose the easier way, yeah, it's going to end like the rest. Yeah, it will be the end for Valve. That's the way I'm seeing it. And other people saying the meme, the Russians demand their pound of flesh. Man, yes, the memes are always there. Gets sued, wins every time. They made a pretty strong point. If they are to be banned, Pokemon and other related stuff will have to be banned in New York as well. That's a good highlight there. If they actually are going to do that to Valve, they should do the same. Ban all loot boxes, but don't force any of that ID verification shit. Yeah, it's all about harvesting data. That's it. That's all I wanted to mention here. I hope Ball wins, but I hope it is fast because yeah, New York is going to keep dragging this out and while finding ways to put hefty fines. And since they want billions, you know what is going to happen. That's it. Thanks for watching and please take care.